What if you woke up tomorrow and your local Walmart was gone? Not just for a day, but forever. Where would you buy your food? How far would you have to travel? And what would you do if prices at the only other store were 30% higher? This isn't a what-if scenario. In 2025, a new tax on foreign goods called a tariff triggered a silent collapse across the United States. The first domino to fall was the biggest, Walmart. Faced with rising costs on everything from Mexican avocados to Canadian canned beans, the company made a cold, hard decision. They started closing stores. This isn't just about a few inconvenient closures. This is about entire towns turning into food deserts overnight. It's a crisis that's hitting states you'd never expect. In this video, we'll show you the 8 states where this disaster is unfolding the fastest. Stay with us, because the last state on our list will prove that nowhere is safe. Let's begin. Number 8, New Mexico. The crisis started quietly, here in the vast desert of the Southwest. New Mexico has the highest percentage of residents relying on food assistance in the entire nation. For these communities spread out and isolated, Walmart wasn't just another store. It was the only store. It was essential infrastructure. When the new tariffs hit food coming from Latin America, Walmart's already thin profits in small towns like Carlsbad and Las Vegas simply evaporated. From a corporate perspective, these towns became red spots on a balance sheet, and the solution was simple: erase the red spots. A resident named Maria stood in front of the empty, dust-covered building that used to be her lifeline. She told us,
"They closed it 2 months ago. No big announcement, just a sign on the door one day. The nearest real grocery store is 60 miles away. My car is old. I can't risk that trip more than once or twice a month. The food bank is trying, but they're overloaded. For the first time, they had to ration what they gave us. We got half of what we normally get. For the first time, they had to turn people away."
This is how a food desert is created in the 21st century. Not by a natural disaster, but by a decision made in a boardroom 1,000 miles away. A town is simply wiped off the corporate map. Number 7. Arkansas. This is Walmart's home, the state where Sam Walton started it all. You'd think they would be safe here. You'd be wrong. Arkansas already suffers from one of the highest hunger rates in the country, a deep-rooted problem that the new tariffs poured gasoline on. The new taxes didn't just hit obvious things like food, they also hit the materials used for packaging, the spices used for flavoring, and the additives that keep food fresh. These seem like small costs, but when you sell billions of items, those pennies add up. For stores in low-income areas of the Arkansas Delta, like Pine Bluff and Helena, that tiny extra cost was the final nail in the coffin. A local pastor in Helena, standing in his small church pantry, shook his head.
"We saw the number of kids coming here for a meal triple in 1 month. These aren't just strangers. These are families whose parents and grandparents worked for that company. They helped build it. The irony is, Walmart's world headquarters is just a few hours' drive from here. To see them pull out of their own backyard, it's not just business. It feels like a total betrayal."
If Walmart won't stay loyal to the community that raised it, it begs the question, are any of us truly safe? Number 6. Michigan. In Detroit, this isn't just about empty shelves, it's a full-blown health crisis. In a city where over 40% of the population struggles with obesity, access to healthy food is a matter of life and death. For years, doctors have been writing nutritional prescriptions for fresh vegetables and whole grains to help patients manage diabetes and heart disease. Now those prescriptions are worthless. When 2 Walmarts in the Detroit area closed, the affordable fresh produce vanished. People are now trapped in what experts call food swamps, neighborhoods where fast food joints and corner stores are plentiful, but a fresh apple or a head of lettuce is nowhere to be found. A nurse at a local clinic shared a story anonymously, her voice filled with frustration.
"My heart patient came in last week. His blood pressure is through the roof. He told me he's back to eating canned soup and instant noodles every day. He looked ashamed. He said, 'It's not that I want to eat this stuff. It's the only food I can find and afford near my home.' We're watching people get sicker, not because they're non-compliant, but because the system has completely failed them."
Number 5. Missouri. Missouri is America's crossroads, a state-of-the-art logistics hub where trucks, trains, and river barges full of goods pass through every single day. You would think it would be impossible to go hungry in a place that is the beating heart of the nation's supply chain. But you'd be wrong. The tariffs created a bizarre paradox. Because of new taxes and soaring shipping costs, it's now often cheaper for distributors to just bypass Missouri's smaller markets entirely. The trucks drive right past, but they don't stop. So even while the state is surrounded by an ocean of food, its own people are left thirsty. A farmer near Springfield stood in his warehouse, gesturing to crates of unsold produce.
I've got tons of corn and squash here I can't sell at a decent price. Meanwhile, I hear on the news that folks just 40 miles away in town can't find affordable vegetables. They're buying canned stuff from a gas station that came from 1,000 miles away. It makes no sense. The whole system is broken.
Number 4, Florida. People save their entire working lives to retire in the Florida sun. But for thousands of seniors on fixed incomes, that paradise has become a gilded cage. Communities like Venice are filled with retirees, many of whom no longer drive and depend on a single, affordable, and accessible supermarket. When Walmart announced it was considering closing its Venice location, the effect was immediate. Prices at the smaller, boutique grocery stores nearby shot up. A gallon of milk went from about $3.50 to nearly $6 in just a few months. For someone living on a fixed pension or social security check, that increase is catastrophic. It forces an impossible, heartbreaking choice. A retired man named Arthur told us,
I take medicine for my heart. I take medicine for my blood pressure. Now, I have to sit down with my bills and decide, do I buy all my pills this month or do I buy enough food to eat every day? I never thought I'd see this in America.
Number 3, Texas. No state is more economically intertwined with Mexico than Texas. For decades, that relationship was a strength, creating a steady flow of affordable produce, snacks, and household goods. But under the new tariffs, that strength became a fatal weakness. When an 18 to 33% price hike hit staple foods imported from Mexico, shoppers in border towns like Corsicana pulled back their spending immediately. For Walmart, the town went from profitable to a liability overnight. The closure left residents with a 40-mile drive to the next affordable option. Local churches saw a 60% surge in demand for charity meals within weeks. Their pantries were overwhelmed. The very policy that was meant to strengthen America's position ended up creating hunger and desperation for the citizens living right on the front line. Number 2, California. This is perhaps the most shocking irony of all. California is the agricultural engine of the entire world. Its Central Valley is a land of incredible, overflowing abundance. Yet in the heart of all this fresh food, people are going hungry. Here's the paradox. While California grows fresh produce, the majority of its affordable, processed, and packaged foods, the things most families rely on, are imported from Mexico and Asia. The tariffs hit these items hard. Combine that with California's highest-in-the-nation gas prices, which makes driving to another town a major expense, and Walmart's low-margin model simply collapsed in places like Visalia. We spoke to a fruit picker named Carlos. He smiled a tired smile and said,
I spend 10 hours a day under the hot sun, picking the most beautiful peaches and oranges you have ever seen. They get shipped all over the world. Then I come home and my family eats instant noodles for dinner. Not because we like it, because it's all we can buy that's close and affordable. How do you explain that to your children?
Number 1, Minnesota. When you think of a trade crisis, you probably don't think of Minnesota. You think of the southern border or the big coastal ports. No one thought about the north, and that's why this is the most alarming case of all. Minnesota's deep and quiet trade relationship with Canada made it uniquely vulnerable. When tariffs hit goods like frozen foods, beans, and processed meats imported from Canada, prices in the Grand Rapids Walmart shot up by a staggering 35%. That store wasn't just a store, it was the only major food source in a 20-mile radius. It was a designated community hub. Public bus routes were designed specifically to bring the elderly and low-income families from surrounding rural areas there. Its closure didn't just hurt the local economy, it stranded an entire population. It caused not just hunger, but isolation. The image of the public bus pulling up to an empty, shuttered building is a chilling symbol of this new crisis. It proved that if this can happen here in the quiet north, then no state, no community is immune. It can happen anywhere. Our food supply chain is more fragile than we ever imagined. It is built for maximum profit, not for human resilience. A single shift in policy, a cold calculation on a corporate spreadsheet, and the stores we depend on can vanish overnight, leaving a desert in their wake. So we have to ask ourselves, is my community safe? What is our plan B if the last affordable store in town closes its doors for good? Look around your own neighborhood. How resilient are you, really? This is no longer a question of if this could happen, but where it will happen next. Share your thoughts and your own community's situation in the comments below. Your story could be a vital warning for others. If you believe these are critical issues that need a spotlight, like this video, subscribe to our channel and hit the notification bell for more in-depth analysis on the crises shaping our future.